They tell a story of the Frediker Rebbe. It's worth to have this whole shia just me to remember and to tell you this mice. I believe I know the person with whom the mice happened, but I don't remember her name exactly. She was a Gerari from home, but I forgot who her married name was. She was a Gerari. They say she was a Vamgarza Schwester Dachsmer. She was a big Chassidah, and she used to go into the Frediker Rebbe to Yachidus, and the Frediker Rebbe gave her a lot of time. Frediker spent a lot of time with her. And the Frediker Rebbe's secretary was really upset about it. The Frediker Rebbe's time was very measured, and this woman would come in and sit, and the Rebbe would talk to her, and she came in often, I don't know, a couple times a year maybe. The Rebbe gave her a lot of attention. So I don't know how it came out, but the Frediker Rebbe said to his secretary, on one occasion when he tried to interrupt the Rebbe sitting with this woman, the Rebbe told him these words: Sie is a Lev nishbar, ich bin a Lev nishbar. Beide unsere Neshamas nehmen sich von demselben Hechel. She's a broken-hearted woman. I'm a broken-hearted person. Both of our souls come from the same place in Gan Eden. I have kinship with her. Why am I spending more? I relate to her, she relates to a Lev Nishbar, the Frediker Rebbe. Frediker Rebbe called it a Lev Nishbar. There's a letter from the Frediker Rebbe to the Rebbe. I'm not going to tell you all the details now, because I don't have time. But the Rebbe asked the Frediker Rebbe to do something for him. I'll tell you what it was, to become chief rabbi of Paris. There was a proposal to make a more Haredi, a more frum community. The Orthodox community in Paris is very modern. And there was a proposal to make a much more traditional community. And they offered the Rabbanos Harashos of Paris to the Rebbe. The Ar Rebbe. And the Frediker Rebbe writes to the Rebbe and the Rebbe Achei Mushka, begging them, it's a printed letter, to take the job. And he says, please think it over carefully and decide between yourselves. And if you'll decide in the affirmative, you'll bring a little nachas to my broken heart. It's written so painfully. So you read it and you ask yourself, how could the Rebbe have not done it? Frediker Rebbe, you bring a little joy to my broken heart. Frediker Rebbe didn't have a good day in his life. I'm assuming that the Rebbe didn't take it because the idea fell through. Not that the Rebbe turned it down. The whole endeavor, the whole effort at making a Haredi community in Paris just didn't happen. But imagine Frediker Rebbe writes, please think about it, and when you'll choose in the affirmative that you'll take the position, you'll give me a little nachas. I'm a broken man. Merodi represents Lev, the brokenheartedness. The brokenheartedness is not Yiddishkeit. It's a Yid. Now, of course, we live in America. And because we live in America, we talk a lot about self-esteem. But you know why we talk a lot about self-esteem in America? Because we have a problem with self-esteem. There is a sense of tzabrochenkait. I gave a shir in the morning to the boys, Nanila Deidi, we talked about it. We have the biggest nisyonis in the history of mankind. Our generation, you, I, but much more you're younger than I am, face tests that no generation of Jews ever faced. How does the Eibishter expect us to deal with these tests? How are we supposed to possibly survive these nisyonis? How? So I saw the Maimer, and I learned it with the boys in the morning, where the Frediker Rebbe says that the generations of the Neshamas before Mashiach have very, very, very low gufim, very low bodies, very, very coarse bodies. And therefore they have very, very sensitive souls. That's what he writes. We have very high Neshamas. I believe me, you don't even have to justify disagreeing, because it's only a pshetel, it's not a... I believe that the source of our low self-esteem is this sensitivity. The neshamas of our generation are unbelievably sensitive. And because of that sensitivity, everything hurts us. And that hurt expressed itself in feeling inadequate, in a brokenness. And that brokenness counterbalances, that brokenness gives us an ability to offset the tests that the Eibusha gave us. If we had powerful neshamas, we'd all be Elazar ben Dodayas. We'd all be the biggest sinners in the world. This is what Merari represents. Merari does not get lifted up. Not because he doesn't get deserved to lift. That's not his inyan. The inyan is the brokenheartedness, which is the foundation. Before you practice davening, before you practice learning, before you practice doing mitzvahs, which are gifts that the Eibishter gave us, there is you. And in every year there is a sense of tzabrochenkait, of brokenheartedness, which makes us a keli to have a relationship with the Eibishter.